Good morning and welcome. I'm Jennifer Cinque from the Organizational Effectiveness and Staff Development Department, and I'm here to talk with you about an opportunity for our internal consulting team to work with the Public Affairs and Communications Department here at Yale. This engagement sets forth to maximize the organizational effectiveness of the communications function within the institution and sets us on a journey together over the next 5 months. Today we would like to discuss this proposal with you and specifically present you with information on the timing of this project and coinciding importance of maximizing the university's communications effort at this point in the university's history, the current challenges that the department is facing, the project's scope, intended deliverables from the engagement, the project's desired outcomes and the approach to accomplish those outcomes, the project timeline, and its resources that will accomplish our intended outcome. Let's get started. Through its 300 years of rich history and evolution, Yale University has branded itself as an organization that brings faculty, students, staff, and community together in pursuit of awareness and information. Essential to this pursuit to disseminate knowledge is a highly functioning Office of Public Affairs and Communications, or OPAC, organization. OPAC works in conjunction with media colleagues, school and departmental communications teams to promote Yale to both internal and external stakeholders. There is no better time to be affiliated with the institution of Yale. With significant investment to define our academic priorities in the arts, humanities, sciences, public policy, and global issues, to campus capital projects for growth and refurbishment, Yale is embarking on a critical time in its rich history. With expertise in strategic communications, digital strategy, media relations, and social media, the OPAC department serves as the central link between Yale's commitment to the world and what the world hears about Yale's investment within it. This team works in conjunction with faculty, staff, program directors, and centers to distribute news across campus regarding teaching and research in relation to medicine, engineering, social sciences, physical sciences, and the humanities. The responsibility is prestigious. Tell the narratives of Yale through a multitude of platforms reaching the ever-changing, diversified communities of the institution. The department consists of 5 sections with a total operating budget of $4.8 million and is entrusted from the president down to the student to connect all communications to the organizational mission. But we seem to be, however, at a crossroads of meeting these expectations. Given the critical charge of this department, the Vice President is looking to intensify the department's attention to driving the university's mission and purpose. Through leadership observation and stakeholder feedback, OPAC is missing significant opportunities to drive Yale's message through various channels with synchronicity and clarity. Each section of OPAC operates autonomously, resulting in a fragmented communication strategy and disconnected content management. Yale's OPAC department operates like an archipelago, like a group of islands within a chain, closely scattered and closely related, yet separate from each other. While the Vice President consistently expresses a desire to synchronize OPAC's newsworthy messaging to what is relevant to the world, the goal of aligning messaging around relevant, current, worldly events and how Yale is making an imprint is not appreciated or realized by the managers beneath her. OPAC's management team does not embrace leadership expectations around this new culture. Without the necessary focus around this adoption, the OPAC organization runs the risk of decentralization or restructure if it does not balance being a reactive customer support resource with the necessities of an organized, strategically driven, value-added organization. The purpose of this project is to identify how OPAC's management team can meet the executive requirements of Yale's leadership, to align communication strategies with organizational mission, engaging them around content management harmonization, and aligning their practices and processes to the vision of the President and Vice President of the department. The scope will require my consultancy to work with the Vice President of OPAC and serve as a hybrid resource, acting both in the partner and coach role, providing guidance and oversight of plans, and at other times, to perform aspects of the project with her and share responsibility for end results. An evaluation of strategic, operational, and people processes will require a review of the department's strategic plan and goal-setting alignment, an analysis of content workflow and decision-making hierarchy, an assessment of the organizational structure and leadership capabilities to drive required changes. It is acknowledged and valued that the OPAC's leader appreciates the historical knowledge and tools that have been foundational to the department's success, and that she intends to leverage those where feasible. She recognizes the department experienced a rich and successful history prior to her arrival. As consultants, we recognize that with a department rich with institutional knowledge and long-standing tenure, there is an appreciation for just how fragile the team may be around change. We recognize that turnover may severely impact the production of communication materials if it happens too soon. We will remain cognizant of that factor throughout the project's life cycle. For the purposes of the project's success, note that an RFP for a content management system is out of scope at this time. However, recommendations to organizational structure may influence this decision to move forward with a proposal in the future. There will be several deliverables that provide diagnostic information in support of increasing the organizational effectiveness of OPAC. Our team will spend a considerable amount of time early and often observing the day-to-day workplace operations from an overarching view, allowing us to make appropriate recommendations with a broader perspective. The client can expect the following deliverables from us: a project charter that will be created to gain early adoption by the key stakeholders and contributors affiliated with the project. And after our thorough intake and evaluation, the charter will be created and circulated to the participants for their agreement. An evaluation of current process flows and intersections between each of the 5 department sections will be summarized, with opportunities for improvements flagged. We'll also evaluate the department's mission statement along with vision, prior goals, and strategic planning documentation. Any relevant meeting agendas for meetings held on a routine basis, either within the department or with key stakeholders, will also be evaluated for content relevance. We'll conduct an evaluation of current organizational charts and those from recent years so that we can analyze work distribution, span of control, resource allocation, and synergies across the department. A summary of leadership attitudes, opinions, recommendations, expectations, and challenges will be gathered through one-on-one interviews with direct reports of the Vice President. A review of performance appraisal history will also take place as needed to correlate feedback to patterns of exceptional, average, and/or mediocre performance levels. The team will also conduct a SWOT analysis. Strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, and threats will be gathered in a leadership team exercise to understand what influences the department's ability to drive strategic communications. Lastly, a review of stakeholder analysis feedback collected by the Vice President's recent task force, which was collected within the last 6 months, will be utilized in support of the proposed changes and project plan. Stakeholders will be contacted should there be an indication that the data needs to be refreshed, although it's not anticipated that that will occur based on our initial discussions with the Vice President. A written executive summary report of all findings from these efforts will be provided to the VP, and a presentation of the detail will be given to her along with essential members of Yale's leadership team as required. Through initial discussions with our project sponsor, the following outcomes have been determined as mutually beneficial. A review of the department's strategic plan will take place and revisions will be suggested. The plan will reiterate a clear articulation of what the department plans to achieve, and originally documented process steps will be adjusted to meet this revised plan. We will complete efforts to confirm that the mission statement has not changed, and if so, we will finalize and publish a new statement for the team. The consultant will also facilitate a session with the leadership to create and institutionalize a shared vision. The astute, compelling vision exercise will allow the team to go deep and to go wide, going deep on building a solid understanding of relevant information and going wide to expand our perspective to collect the big picture and view it from different angles. A competency mapping exercise will also take place to evaluate critical behaviors required of the staff. These behaviors will be institutionalized and govern all systems moving forward: goal setting, development planning, performance planning, and they will be defined and communicated thoroughly to the entire department. While we recognize that this effort has not yet taken place, a sample of a competency map reflecting the attitudes of the Vice President is included in the appendix. A balanced scorecard will effectively allow managers to streamline objectives and tasks and guarantee that goals support the strategic direction the department wishes to achieve. All of this is accomplished while the department simultaneously builds camaraderie, buy-in, and a sense of contributory purpose among the staff. The key elements of creating a balanced scorecard with the team will be to focus on financial stewardship, internal processing, customers, and learning and growth objectives, or organizational capacity. Centered among these elements will be the overall core strategy of the organization. If the right objectives, measures, targets, and initiatives are created around each of these elements, the organization strategy will be driven. And finally, an organizational design model will be prepared resulting from an evaluation of the process workflows and need to support synchronized content management. Alternate approaches will be considered and presented for consideration and, where feasible, recommendations for compressed functions or reorganization will be made. Recommendations on newly created positions will also accompany with drafted job descriptions and specifications on the role and the work within those positions. Our consultant team anticipates this project work to begin in August and continue through the end of December, ready for implementation in January of the new year. A detailed timeline can be found in the appendix of this presentation. However, conceptual process steps include initial meeting and leader intake session, solidification of our project charter, observation of the workplace, management team, workflow, and staff interactions, followed by the documentation review step, our analysis process, the preparation and presentation of the executive summary, and of course, implementation. It is noted that there are several risks affiliated with this engagement, and while Slack is built into each of these activities, risk factors can alter the timing of deliverables. Risk is explained as a factor that has the probability of impacting a project plan either positively or negatively based on whether or not it occurs. Risks affiliated with this project include the potential absence of process workflows for all department procedures, which would cause us the need to create these documents and then properly evaluate those. This can delay the ability to draw conclusions and recommendations on ways to improve in a timely manner. Another risk, there may be resistance by staff to participate in one-on-one leadership interviews, which poses a gap in information collection and can cause a risk to the project. And lastly, employees may deselect themselves from participating in the SWOT exercise, which would limit the output and diversified feedback representative of all sections across each of the department. Engagement from our leadership and transparency on the project objectives and deliverables will be critical in mitigating these risks and helping the staff remain fully engaged in the work and what we're hoping to accomplish. This project will only be considered successful if we can do the work together. It will come to fruition with a successful partnership between our consultants and the leadership within OPAC. From our team, there will be 2 primary consultants working on the project, and the lead consultant will focus on the strategic aspects of the project plan and will perform most of the essential work affiliated with its success. The lead consultant for the project will be me. The additional consultant will facilitate the SWOT analysis for us and help support interview completion in a timely manner. Considering the combined tenure of both of our internal consultants from the organizational effectiveness and staff development team, there's a strong understanding of the university culture already in existence, which aids in the ability to effectively help with this project quickly. Essential to this work will be the engagement of the OPAC leadership team, and the analyst currently affiliated within their department. A combination of existing knowledge and newly inserted perspectives will help us ensure that this engagement will come to successful completion. Enhancing organizational effectiveness will require that the leader work in partnership with me and the consultancy team, which may require some ad hoc meetings and discussions that are outside the project timeline. As this function reports to the university president, there may be a need to solicit additional information regarding the university's vision and future priorities. Access to the president or his designee will be critical. A dossier on each of our consultants will be provided in detail within the project charter, which we will provide to you at the beginning of this engagement. The intent of our management consulting practice will be to drive the creation of OPAC's organizational value and purpose by enhancing performance through suggested business solutions and counsel. Throughout this engagement, our team will provide mastery expertise in the roles of advisor, facilitator, evaluator, and designer. Prior work experience at Yale provides us with a competitive advantage considering thorough knowledge of institutional philosophies, which limits the upfront research necessary, shortening the time to diagnose the challenges. Consultative influence will be necessary in helping OPAC's leadership comprehend the importance of directing transformational efforts. An executive who supports the team leadership approach, seeks talent and specialized skills, invests in growth and personal strengths, and aligns talent around the vision and the mission, and capitalizes on strengths and organizing the work where it belongs. My personal experience successfully leading transformational efforts and elevating the performance of my own team further enhances my effectiveness and credibility to help in this situation. The approach of this engagement will be methodical, yet fluid, considering the unpredictable nature of human behavior and the evolving business priorities that OPAC faces. Those priorities more commonly vacillate in OPAC considering the nature of crisis communications that impedes their day-to-day work. I feel confident in the ability to achieve our intended results based on the leadership acumen of the department head, the expertise of OPAC's leaders as subject matter experts, and the consultancy proficiency based on similar engagements that our team has faced. We aspire to come together and produce an effective headline that highlights the successes of this project and broadcasts the organizational effectiveness of the Office of Public Affairs and Communications at Yale. We look forward to beginning this journey with you. We appreciate your time today and look forward to discussing your questions, feedback, and suggestions as a first step in this project journey.